have something today that actually will be quite interesting. It's a way to get into our story without just having a kind of a rehashing of some of the same boring details. I'm going to have you moving a little bit today, and we're going to do things that are related to the story but not exactly the same. Okay? So bear with me as I explain and try to take you through this of what we're going to do. We're going to call it Station Day. And so here's how it's going to go. Station 1 will consist of 2 tables. 1, 2. Station 1. These 2 tables are the creative writing stations. Oh. I'm going to give you a scenario from the story, and your job is to let your imagination flow and to just put it through your pen onto the paper. You're going to write whatever comes to mind for you that's funny, that's interesting, that's humorous, that's serious, whatever it is. I'm going to place you into the story, and you have to take it from there. Okay? That's station number 1, creative writing. All right? Station number 2. Station number 2 will consist of this table and my back area here. Okay? What you all are going to be is the reading station. So we've got a writing station, we've got a reading station. And in this reading station, what I've done, because we've got to know George Orwell, we watched a short video to introduce him before we started the book. You remember that, and it kind of ran through his life quickly. Well, what I did on my own time was I started reading his actual memoirs. So that because Animal Farm is actually one of my favorite books. And so because it is, I wanted to get to know the author myself. And so what I've done for your station is I have extracted an excerpt from his actual memoir. And this fits perfectly, right? Because what did we just finish?
Laws of Life.
Laws of Life. Good. Our Georgia Laws of Life, which were where you wrote your memoir. So what I did is I extracted some from his book, Down and Out in Paris and London. And I think you will find some of this humorous. I think you will find it a little different than maybe the picture you have in your mind of who he is, because he's this profound writer who's written this book that goes from generation to generation to generation, has been translated in multiple languages, etc., etc. The great prophet who wrote 1984, right? But this memoir here is before he became that person, as he was developing to be that person, but some of the trials and tribulations he was going through in Paris. So it's actually kind of funny. So you're going to take this excerpt, and you're going to write, you're going to have about 5 questions, and after you get done with those questions, then you're going to talk to each other about what you read. Okay? Just have discussion. That also goes for the creating writing section. If each station is going to be about 15 minutes, let's say at 10 minutes you've exhausted what you want to write, you can have discussion with each other about what you wrote. Okay? We want to take the opportunity to harness each other. We want to do our own thing, but we want to also harness and get to know our neighbor in terms of what they did, where their thinking was, how they approached what they did. Okay? All right. So that's station number, this is station number 1, these 2 tables. Station number 2, these 2 tables. Now, station number 3. Station number 3 will be this table and this table. Now, grammar, I have been planning how do I fit in some grammar at least at a minimum once every 2 weeks, to have some isolated grammar assignments. Just so that we can do some things to sharpen things that I may see in our writing, so we can make sure and strengthen those things and empower us. So these two tables are going to serve as our grammar stations. I'm going to give you a half sheet that has 15 questions. You're going to be dealing with demonstrative pronouns and demonstrative adjectives. Once you answer these 15 questions, you're going to simply turn over your sheet and you're going to create a question of your own, pass it to your neighbor, and have them answer it and see how they did. And they'll do the same with you. They'll exchange with you. Okay? All right, so you go through the drill yourself, but then you get the opportunity to create and also to peer assist in strengthening your own neighbor. All right? So that's the grammar station. Now, the magic table right here is the teacher station. Yes, this is where I will confer with you quickly on some brief conferences, and we will talk about, number one, where you are in your reading. Those of you, we know that, where should we be in the book right now? Huh? We should be completed, absolutely. I know that some of you have not, so I want to touch bases with you, see where you are, take a look at how you plan to get it complete over the weekend, so that when we take our test, which is on Tuesday. No. Friday. Wednesday. Remember everything got pushed back one day? Why? Because of what we did yesterday. Oh. Okay? So our test is on Wednesday. So you are, without a doubt, by the weekend, should have the story completely finished, read, annotated, and your character tracking list done. Right? Right? Yeah. Right. Okay, good. Annotations and character tracking will be checked on test day. While you're testing, you'll just hand those in and I will check them. Okay, so that's what we'll talk about over here. Also, if you have any other questions or concerns for me, it'll give us a brief moment to just share with each other. All right? So those are the 4 stations. Anyone have any questions? Don't forget that once you complete your memoir, you answer your questions, talk to each other about it. Over here, once you've done your creative writing, talk to each other about what you wrote. Grammar, make sure you create a question. After you've done those 15, make sure you create a question, exchange with each other, test each other. Okay. All right. With that being said, those are the instructions. I'm going to put the clock up. And we are going to, in one moment, we're going to start. As soon as I get everybody their materials. Creative writing. Where's my creative writing people? Right, those are some more. Pass those across, please.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Grammar. And let me get by Nick. And memoir. These are the questions. You're welcome. I don't have so many copies, so don't write on the excerpt. You write on that, but don't write on the story.
So that would be a
You're welcome. Yes. Okay, you're welcome. All right, guys, here we go. Clock starting now. Now you're exempt for the moment because you're filming me, so I understand. Just keep it going. How much time? How far?
9 minutes.
5 minutes? That's it?
9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay. I need at least 10.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with these two guys.
This mom is making a YouTube page.
There you go. How are you, buddy? How are you? Where are you in your reading?
We're in chapter 8.
You on chapter 8? Okay. What's your plan to get it done over the weekend?
Just to read Saturday or today.
Okay, good. How far are you in with your annotations?
Mr. Muhammad, we turning these in?
Which
We turning these in?
the excerpts, you're going to use that for discussion purposes. Hold on to it. But save the excerpts. I need those for next period.
Well, are we turning this in?
No, that's for your discussion. Yes. Okay, where were we? So you are up to speed on your annotations? Is there any other assignments that we need to talk about that need to be turned in that you haven't done? You maybe needed more time for?
I don't recall. All I can think about right now is that it's not my last name.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't even know Richin.
Okay, so
Richin,
replace
Dora.
the noun into mod.
I'm mixing you up with Lamar. That's Lamar's last name. Richardson. That's all. Okay. All right. You know what? Because we have groups spread out and we have a smaller class than our other ones, you can feel free to pick any station you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that would be a.
Something I forgot. I think it was the interlopers.
Okay. But were you here that day I was out for training? Is that the assignment you're speaking of?
I think. When was that?
It was Monday the 5th. Monday the 5th, I was out for training and we had assigned you to be the interlopers.
It said like you had a dentist or something.
No, that was something different.
Do you want me to start?
No, you can start. Yeah, you can start.